Welcome to You Rolled a 1, Episode 14, The Kraken Strikes Back. In our last few episodes, our players talked to a number of different NPCs throughout the city of Seafall while it's under siege, highlighting the more interesting parts of endlessly waiting for the siege to drag on. Have you ever heard the phrase, a good offense makes the best defense? Well, I think that's true here. Offense dictates pace, it seizes initiatives, it forces reactions, and exposes enemy weakness. It transforms uncertainty into opportunity. Defense might preserve what exists, but offense creates new opportunity and what could be. Let's see how that works for our players in this episode. Welcome back to You Rolled a 1.
The days blend together, and soon the tree leaves begin to turn colors. September rolls into October, and the nights soon become crisp. The siege camp does not have the manpower or the knowledge to block the ocean, so supplies and food continue to come into the city. Rationing is relatively limited, and all of you are still able to eat 2 full square meals a day. The meals are being cooked and provided as a combination of Chef Moyardee, who seems to be thoroughly enjoying the siege, and also Roderick, who consistently turns onions into a whole different wonderland of magical creations. From French onion soup, to deep-fried onions, to bloomin' onions, to raw onions, to sautéed onions. All of you only really see each other and are able to hang out during meal times, which is actually where our episode begins.
Onions for breakfast. Onions for lunch. Onions for dinner.
For the most part, yeah, sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Does anybody here have anything other than onions that we can eat? I can't remember the last time I had, a bit of bacon and a delicious bit of pork fat or something.
Oh, what I wouldn't do for some steak pate.
Pate? You don't seem like the type, Max. You do know what pate is, right?
It's just like a bunch of meats chopped together and then seasoned with herbs, right?
Well, it's a little more complex than that. There's something about it that they do to make it that cat foody texture.
Democles, your descriptions are torture. Stop, please, as I bite into an onion.
I might be willing to preach even for a nice, crisp green apple.
I would mind sliver a child for a bit of carrot right now.
By Mara's grace, Democles, complaining about the rations that we do have?
As you're all eating breakfast of a fried bloomin' onion, this time at the Silver Stag, Saeed comes and finds you. He plops down next to Democles, with Axel and Nictor on opposite side, and Manx next to Democles as you're all eating the bloomin' onion.
I'm glad I found all of you together, and I'm glad you're enjoying Roderick's onions. Rumor has it that Roderick and the late Elias Greenleaf were doing something special, something about making onions sweeter. I don't really know.
There's only one place you can really get a good blooming onion, and that's this place. This happens to be, and I'll crunch down on it. Delicious. But as much as I love a blooming onion, it's hard to have every single day.
It is hard to eat the same thing every day. Anyway, we're off topic. Lord Zedric and his son Henry are requesting you in the Rusty Iron Tankard. Finish your breakfast quickly, and then head over.
And after now delivering his message, Saeed takes a big chunk of your bloomin' onion and wanders away further into the Silver Stag.
It's too bad that'll be the last onion that he ever enjoys. I see doom in his fate. But what do you crave, Nictar? Are you hungry for anything in particular?
I wish they would bring pigs on those boats.
Wine would be nice, too. Yes, Port Haven Port would be absolutely divine.
Do you think Chef Moyardee is holding out on us? He's gotta have something. I know that man can't sustain off the onions alone.
Yes, and why is he still so fat after all this lack of eating? Maybe we should investigate further.
I'm telling you, he's holding out on us. We need to steal his stash.
I think you're onto something.
I could read his mind, uncover the very secrets of food beneath the surface, and take them from him. Maybe I should just have a little more onion before I move on to see Cedric. I'm quite hungry.
We have a real enemy right here, and I'm going to point at the onion.
Perhaps I should just do a quick portent to see whether or not Chef Moyardee is holding out on us. I have drawn the 5 of Swords, and ironically, even though it shows a man pummeled with 5 swords, you would think that it would be about killing the person we're talking about. It's actually not. It's actually about winning the battle but losing the overall war. If we killed Moyardee trying to find out where he kept the good food, we might actually lose the overall war.
Whoa, whoa, Democles, who said anything about kill? I was just going to, talk to the guy. And you could go under his legs or something? Kill? Let's hold our horses here.
All I'm saying is the cards, the 5 of Swords, is a call to reassess our approach. Maybe this is not the right course of action.
Yeah, maybe like the guy on that card, let's not create an opening that could hurt other people.
I am also opposed to murder.
All right. I am going to seek out Cedric and head out into the square. Will you all join me?
So we're walking to the tankard?
To the tankard.
As you enter the tankard, you see a room with only a handful of individuals poring over a large map of the area. Inside, you recognize every single person inside the room. You see Cedric, dressed in not quite full plate, but, kind of warlike armor. Henry, who's actually at the table in conversation. Ida Hotspur, the fiery gnome that you rescued from Vardant Hollow. Tobias and Grimmer are also inside the room. As you enter, a hush originally falls over the room as they all look at you, and then Cedric welcomes you all with his arms wide open.
Ah, Democles and the Wave Walkers. So glad that you are here. Now, we have some tricks up our sleeve for these Goblin and Raven Shield scum. Henry, why don't you take him through the plan?
Thank you, Father. Democles, and the rest of you, come, please. Let me walk you through this.
Does your plan, by any chance, help us eat something other than carny food?
I certainly hope so, Democles. I'm tired of these onions.
Then my ears are all yours, sir.
Now, Democles, as you know, most of our previous strategic conversations have been about killing the goblins. But we don't actually need to kill them. We just have to keep them outside of Seafall. We still have access to the sea, and therefore, although it's not fun to eat this many onions, we do have supplies. And with winter around the corner, those goblins won't be able to camp in front of the city through the winter. They won't have the supplies and it will be too cold. We just have to keep them outside of the city. Axel and Nictor, I'm sure you'd agree that despite our best training, the soldiers we have inside the city will be insufficient to throw back the goblins if they manage to breach our walls. So all we must do is keep those goblins outside the city until the first snows come. Then they will have a choice to make: leave or freeze to death upon the field. Over the course of the winter, we should be able to get somebody out of the city and as far as Helenon, to the Sultan's court, to petition him for some assistance and to deal with these goblins once and for all. Time is on our side, if we can last to the first snows.
So then, really all we gotta do is destroy their siege engines, right? Because they're not gonna be able to get over the walls any other way.
Exactly, Minx. And that really boils down to the 3 siege onagers, designed to throw rocks and break down our walls and gates. If we destroy them, I don't think the goblins will have enough time to rebuild before the first snows. So we will sally out and destroy them. They are too numerous to attack head-on, so we will beguile them. Wave Walkers, we will let you out at midday. Democles, Manx, Nictor, Axel. Slip north to the mill. Hide there until nightfall. Ida, Saeed, Tobias, and Grimoire, you will lead a troop of men to attack head-on and cause a distraction. It should draw the goblins' focus long enough for the wave walkers to get access to those catapults and destroy them.
We'll give you as long as we can, Democles, and I'll take a couple of them goblin bastards down with me, or I wouldn't be Ida Hotspur, a thistlefoot rider.
Ha! We'll give those gobos a real good thumping. Right, Tobias?
That's right, Grim. You take care of that leg and we'll take a couple of goblin heads on the way.
I like this plan. It reeks of boldness and risk, yes.
Do you think we could, use flaming arrows to set them on fire from afar? Then we don't have to get up close.
I like the idea of having some form of distance between us and the actual things that need to be destroyed.
I'm sure you'll figure that out, Democles, when you get close. As you say, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
I would like to address the NPCs of the room and ask who used to own Spinner's Mill. Just curious as to anything in the area.
We used to deliver grain to the family that lived there, Nectar. They would grind it and sell it in town, or sell it to merchants. They haven't been sighted in Seafall since the siege began. Hopefully they managed to flee to the hills, but it seems more likely they didn't.
Unfortunate. I was hoping to talk to a family member. Probably already ransacked by the army outside.
Do we know anything about, their camp? Do we know where Bella Ravenshield is, or that big ugly fucker that was riding the bear? You know, that shaman goblin-looking thing?
Good question, Manx. What we can see from the walls is that the goblin leader's tent and Isabella's tent are pretty close to the siege equipment. But our guess is that they will be the first to the fray in our sally out. We're hoping that they shouldn't give you any hassle.
So then, how do we know when to attack? We'll probably hear the sounds of battle, but the mill is a couple hundred yards away. We want to be moving before combat is actually engaged, right?
Yes. You'll want to be moving before we actually engage the enemy. We'll lose precious time if we have to wait. We'll send up a fire arrow. Keep your eyes peeled. That will be your signal. We'll attack a few minutes after that. Should give us perfect timing to get you as close to those siege engines as possible. Give you as much time as we can.
One thing, how are we supposed to get back?
That's up to me, Democles. I've got a signal horn. I'll blow it when we start to get overwhelmed by the goblins. Then we'll start to retreat. When you hear the horn, you make your way back to the gates. We'll all slip back into Seafall at the same time, and everyone will just assume that you're part of the sally out. There should be no opposition if you can get a little bit around the goblins.
I'll keep my eye out, Democles, and make sure no goblins get in your way on your retreat. I'll be right next to Tobias. No lily-livered goblins are going to be taking me down.
I'll be covering all of you with bowmen and crossbowmen on top of the walls. All you have to do is make sure you get within bowshot, and we'll keep you safe as you get back into Seafall.
Sounds like we may need the luck of fates behind us for this plan to work.
Don't worry, Democles. I feel Mara's guiding hand leading us to victory.
Thanks, guys. Ida, Tobias, Grimoire. And don't you worry about that, Democles. I'm right behind you. We'll keep you safe.
You should leave within the hour. We don't know if Ravenshield has any spies in the city. We plan our attack tonight. We wouldn't want you foiled while you're out at the mill.
As I mentioned, I believe the fates should be on our sides for this, but I have some spiders I'd like to consult with and perhaps sacrifice in order to, appease the proper gods and all those types of things. Make sure the stars are on our sides. Perhaps give me 30 to 45 minutes to do that. And I expect that should make sure that our plans go correctly.
Your timing is acceptable, Democles. I will meet you and the rest of the Wave Walkers by the small northern gate towards Lover's Leap. You can slip out from there and make your way to the mill.
The plan is afoot. Let us reassemble in an hour.
Democles, you can go upstairs in the rusty iron tankard to get some time to yourself to do the ritual. The rest of you continue to sit around the table with the other NPCs and discuss possible ways of destroying these catapults.
And I'll do a little ritual to myself where I look at a couple of spiders and take them out of my spider box, have them run around a circle on the ground that I make, and after a while I smash one. And you see me doing these sort of weird motions and things and chanting, and then after a while I arise. And my portents are 2 and a 6. So I can swap those in for a number of things throughout the day. And that might mean that someone creates some misfortunes for those that we face.
We'll now shift our focus back to the party down in the main room of the rusty iron tankard.
So no one has any idea on where to get a flammable substance from, even a powder.
When I traveled through Port Haven, I saw a type of flammable liquid that was derived from boiling a large whale. Do we have anything like that here? We could, very easily douse one of the catapults in this type of liquid. That would set it on fire, no problem. Destroy it for sure.
That sounds like magic, Manx. We never had anything like that in Hearth Hill.
I've heard of such a thing, Manx, but never seen it in person. And certainly we don't have any here in Seafall. Any other ideas?
Gentlemen, I just need to get close to it. I can sabotage the siege using itself.
If we can get you close enough to the siege engines, I'm sure you can find a way of destroying them, Manx. Between Democles' burning hands or Axel's training with siege equipment, I'm sure that they can be destroyed. However, time is now of the essence. Go and equip yourselves. Ida, you can join Tobias and Grimoire on the front line. Let's dress for war.
Everyone rises from the table, gives each other quick nods, and leaves, everyone knowing what is about to come next. "45 minutes later, everyone meets at the northern gate dressed for war. Saeed is there, dressed in full chainmail hauberk, to let you out.
While we're out and about, if anyone sees any spiders, please grab them for me and keep them safe or give them directly to me. I have my spider box with me, but I'm pretty sure I've collected almost every spider within the walls, and there's just not a lot of them left.
Can all of you except for Axel roll a perception check?
13.
Thanks, Nictor. What about you, Democles?
16.
And Manx.
15 for me.
All of you notice Garrick installing a ballista on the top of the gatehouse. He waves to the group and then sees Axel.
Axel, I'm just installing the second one here. I call this bad boy Kragus, and I hope he hits with the power of the mountain god.
It's quite a sight to behold, Garrick. Your craftsmanship is not wasted on us. Thank you, sir.
May I suggest that you say with the power of an avalanche, as mountains don't actually move, but avalanches strike quite hard. Metaphor, you understand. It's about specificity, but thank you very much for making these ballistas. We appreciate your hard work, and keep at it. You're not dumb.
Thank you, Democles, and good luck to you, boys.
Garrick's head disappears from the top of the rampart as he ducks back to his work.
Badass.
Big fan of the name.
Kragus.
I would like to make sure I've got Moonshadow with me. If I could have her fly out and sort of give us a little perspective on where we're going so that she may be able to warn us, or I can occasionally warg into her and see where we're going so that we aren't surprised, that would be awesome.
Saeed looks at you all.
Ready, lads? Once you're outside, there's no way back in. Until we give you the signal, anyway.
Onwards and upwards, boys. Let's get to that mill.
I'm ready.
I am ready.
So as Saeed silently unlocks the door and ushers you out, the first few steps that you take, a couple of things strike you immediately. The first one is how freaking loud the goblins are. It's pretty remarkably loud. It kind of sounds like a huge crowd, like if you've ever been to a fair. It is surprisingly loud with goblin squeaks and squeals and the chopping and all this commotion. And then you hear the gate click back into place and the drop bar drop onto it. And all of a sudden, the four of you are alone. You can't actually directly see the goblin camp. You can just hear it because there is not super tall, but mostly grown corn stalks in the way. You can just hear a lot of activity. So you've got some good cover as you head north. Moonshadow can easily soar above and then drop down and give you information as to where you want to go.
The bastards have cut us off from our own corn. That's what's been sustaining them this whole time. And I'm just going to be clenching a fist.
It's right there, so close. If only we had time to cook it.
Through the cornfields, silently.
As you're heading north, you can again hear the goblins to your right-hand side. And as you get into the second field over a small wooden fence to separate two fields, you can then hear the goblins kind of behind you. This walk, because you are going slow, you're frequently checking with Moonshadow, has taken probably 4 or 5 hours. If you were to just walk at a normal pace through a road, you could probably do it in an hour, but you're walking really slow, you're checking, you're listening, and so as you get to the break in the cornfield here, you can actually start to see the sunset. Do you want to stay in the cornfield, or do you want to actually head into the mill? Moonshadow has scouted above, and there doesn't look like there's any goblins within a full field's length.
Ooh, which of us is the fastest of us?
Present.
Nictor, thank you for raising your hand. I think you should try and run out and get to the mill. But perhaps we should wait for cover of darkness. What do you think?
Wholeheartedly agree. We haven't seen any action in and out of there.
Excellent. Can we observe this for a bit? See if there's any sneaky activity that might be not immediately obvious?
Yeah, absolutely. You can watch it for as long as you want until midnight. You are expecting the attack to happen around midnight, and the sun is just starting to go down, so you can watch it as long as you like. Why don't you roll one perception check, and we'll go from there.
I got a 12, so...
You guys see nothing even remotely interesting. It doesn't look like there's any goblins from your vantage point in the corn. It just looks ransacked. It doesn't look like there's any goblins around. You can't hear anything indicating that there are goblins. It looks entirely deserted.
Let's get to the mill. So lead the way, Axel.
Wait. Guys, this place is completely ransacked. It's, functionally abandoned. So, yep, straight from me. All right, gonna walk forward.
I'll watch to see if he gets shot immediately with arrows, and if not, I'll tentatively leave the cornfield to follow him.
Hey, Democles, could you, send Moonshadow to go and take a look in the window of the mill, see if anything's in there before we actually get close to it?
Aye. I will send Moonshadow up to any sort of visual point that might be able to look out at us and see if there's anybody there.
Moonshadow can fly to the top of the mill. Everything that Moonshadow can see indicates that there are cornfields all around, and there are no goblins outside of the actual siege camp, which is a full field's width away, so easily 200-300 yards.
Nice.
Nice.
Silently.
Democles, you get to the mill with absolutely no problem and almost bump into Axel, who is coming around the mill from the other side.
Oh, how did you get here, Axel? I didn't even see you coming.
I'm here too, Democles. Don't forget about me.
Oh, nice. You snuck up on me there. Jesus.
I'll stay at the door, just on guard.
The door is smashed open, so there's no actual door to get in or out. It's just smashed and lying on its hinges.
I tiptoe in and perceive the room.
I'd like to go in after Nictor.
Manx, Nictor.
I'll go in at the end of the crew last, yes.
Can Democles, Manx, and Nictor please make Constitution saves?
Oh, yeah, I'm getting all the bad dice today. 9.
Well, I had, believe, a 10.
16 from me, boys. Feeling good.
Manx, you are not affected at all. Nictor and Democles, you are immediately sickened. The smell of death and rotting meat is overpowering inside the house. Manx, your experience in the hospital recently has made you immune to this, but you know immediately that there is something dead inside this house.
I'd like to leave the house and puke outside.
All right, Nictor, Megs, are you guys going to stay in the house, or are you just going to abandon it to the cornfields?
It's not that bad. It's not any worse than the hospital that I've been in for weeks, so I'm gonna stay in the house and explore a little bit, take a look around.
I am of similar opinion. I'm going to stomach this awful smell.
While I outside finish my retching and then cast Minor Illusion to create a barrel in which I hide myself in the barrel of the Minor Illusion, and then I would like to warg into my Moonshadow and just stay on top. I'll be the lookout, essentially, for while they're inside.
The mill itself seems structurally pretty well built. It's a really large 12-inch by 12-inch timber frame building. It's actually 2 stories. In the center of the building is the actual stone mill wheel. So it goes up with a gear mechanism into a windmill that juts out of the top of the mill, and that's where Moonshadow had perched, is on one of the windmills. You could see before you even got there that 2 of the 4 blades of the windmill had broken off and are just laying next to it because of non-repair. But inside you can see the big stone mill, and it was even active at the time. It looks like it's half finished, so there is wheat that is in the hopper ready to be ground, and then you actually see some flour, remains of flour that's on the ground. And in one of the side chambers, as you enter, the smell becomes much stronger. You find the body of 2 goblins dead, as well as the body of a man, a woman, 2 children, and a small baby in a crib.
Oh no, the family at Spinner's Mill. By Mara's grace, that's terrible.
Based on where you see scuff marks on the ground and kind of the action of events, what it looks like was the mill, when it is rumbling, makes a lot of noise, so whoever was in the mill couldn't hear any of the war drums. When the attack happens, the actual millers run to the back room. They try to barricade the door, which is ultimately forced open where there's the actual confrontation. The husband and wife of the millers look like they are holding any type of utensil they can get their hands on, which has resulted in the 2 goblin bodies that are there. And then after that, the children and the baby are killed by the goblins.
I would like to put some coins over their eyes and say the funeral rites. Obviously, they're a little far gone for what normal preparation rituals would be, but I want to try and arrange them in some dignity and do as much preparation as I can for Mara's grace.
Okay. As you go about doing that, Manx, Axel and Democles can hear some shuffling and noises inside the mill.
Are you guys okay? Democles is a barrel?
We're okay, Axel. We just found the millers and the source of the smell. They're no longer with us.
Shh. Silently.
I'll move to the upstairs.
Upstairs, you find sacks and sacks and sacks and sacks of flour. Probably hundreds of them. They're not quite palletized, but if you think of kind of a warehouse, they would basically grind the flour and then take it upstairs. It looks like there's actually a side winch that you would be able to use to lower them all the way outside. There's a little trap door on the outside, so you could put them on a little, almost like a dolly or a bellhop, and then lower them down with a pulley system to go outside to load into a cart. So they could carry them and then just put them out the side, kind of like a second-story drive-through.
How long does it take for me to rearrange these bodies and, give them funeral rites and stuff?
I would say an hour or so let's say it's about 9 o'clock now.
Okay, so after I've finished preparing the bodies, I want to go upstairs where Nictor is, and seeing all the flour, I want to inspect it, because I'm pretty sure powdered flour would be, flammable.
Yep, the bags themselves weigh about 50 pounds.
Well, I bet that we could carry a couple of these bags, and if we set them on fire, when it's just powdered fire like that, I bet we'd get a pretty good kaboom.
I like the way you think, Manx. That would be good for a good old tent explosion.
All right, well, these things are pretty heavy, so I'm gonna pick up one over my shoulder, and we'll use that, and that'll take at least one catapult, I'd bet. Certainly, if Damocles can use his burning hands.
Damocles, can you roll a perception check with advantage?
I got a 12, so...
You see a fire arrow arc across the sky, indicating that the attack is imminent.
I would like to make a distinctive hooting noise from Moonshadow so that the others can hear it as my warning sign.
Nictor, that's Damocles' hooting signal. He must have seen the fire arrow. We gotta go.
All right, let's go. Ooh, pretty sky.
The group of you run quickly towards the goblin camp. As you approach, maybe 100 yards away, you can hear the sounds of battle coming from the city of Seafall. You know that once the alarm is raised, which it has been, you have a pretty limited amount of time to get in, destroy these catapults, and slip back into the city.
I will send Moonshadow ahead. Someone carry me while I look through her eyes at what's going on around the catapults.
I'm gonna stow my shield on my back, and I will lift Damocles up on my shoulder and still hold my halberd.
So I'm going to say that, Axel, if you're carrying Damocles and your halberd, you're not going to be capable of fighting. So you're incapacitated while you're carrying Damocles.
Moonshadow can see combat starting to happen right in front of the gates and then a little bit to the south of the city.
Moonshadow can also see
3 catapults lined up. The first catapult doesn't look like there's anything around it,
so it looks like the distraction is working, at least for the first catapult.
I'll relay that to everybody and come back into myself and then say, the time is now. We must move hastily.
So far, so good, by Mara's grace.
As you arrive to the first catapult, it is, as Damocles said, the distraction is working and there's nobody around it. Totally exposed.
We should definitely prepare it to be sabotaged as we mess up the other 2 catapults, and then we can escape and destroy the third one last minute as we escape.
Oh, that's a good idea. Then we won't trigger the goblins to know they're under attack from over here too, eh?
Roger that.
I want to get right close and inspect this catapult, see if there's any weak points or easy ways to disable them.
It looks like it's got a small swing arm, and then it's all entirely gears that pull it all the way back.
Okay, that's good. Can I see the other catapults from where we are?
So there's about 25 feet to the east is going to start to be the tents of the goblins, and then there is yet another just past the catapult. There are more tents, so you can see the other catapults now above them, but you can't actually see like the bottom of the other catapults because there's tents in the way.
Hey Axel, come take a look at this. Does any of these gears look really important? Like if we just destroy some of these, it would take out the rest of them or ruin all of the machinery?
I'm gonna be like looking it over. Pulley system. It's got gears with a crankshaft.
Axel, I'm going to have you roll a knowledge siege check.
I'm also going to tap your shoulder, Axel, and say, I'm sure you know what you're looking at, Axel, and give you Bardic Inspiration.
Manx, the Bardic Inspiration, is that a D8 from you? Thank you, sir.
No, sorry, only a D6.
Okay, so I got a 16.
That'll work. As you inspect the machine, you can see how the tension is applied and how you might sabotage it.
You know, if you guys want to be deliberate, we can burn this, but with just the right amount of tampering, I could get this thing to just break itself. The gears and the pulleys will literally rip itself apart.
Gosh dang it, you're a genius.
Wasn't it you, Damocles? Did you want to leave it so that if they go to retaliate, it'll fail in their face kind of deal?
Yes, isn't that the plan?
Yeah, let's go.
While Axel is fucking up this catapult, I want to try and poke my head in some of the tents. Maybe there's some loot in there.
Now, these tents, do we hear people in them or are they empty?
So there are 3 large tents, one behind each of the catapults, that are different than the rest. They seem larger, more well-made, and more ornate, so they hold some purpose other than just housing goblins.
Let's look at the noble tent, and I want to do it sneakily, ideally, and quietly.
Roll a stealth check. I'm going to give you advantage as well.
Oh my god, both my dice suck today. So I rolled a, 8, maybe 9.
The first tent that you come across is pretty richly decorated. Inside, it looks, there's a desk in the center, there's a chair, there is chests all over the place, and you can see 2 chainmail-clad professional halberdiers standing on either side of an incredibly large wooden chest with iron rivets.
Do they see me, or no?
They do not see you, or if they do, they have not moved.
I will sneak back out and go report to them that we want to move quietly past this. That nice-looking tent over there, I believe it might have something extremely valuable in it. There's only 2 guards. I believe I could dispense with probably one of them myself without any problems. Perhaps after we dispense with these catapults, we should investigate if that thing of value might be worthwhile for us to take.
I like taking things.
Democles, how can you think of plunder right now? We've got to destroy these catapults. What good is gold if there's no more Seafall? By Mara's underskirts.
Right. Let's finish these catapults, though. Primary thing first.
I need each of you to make 2 rolls for me. One is a stealth check first, and then give me an initiative for your second one.
Nictor, let's start with you.
11, initiative 5.
And Democles?
Stealth was 14, my initiative was 11.
And now you, Axel.
I roll at stealth at disadvantage. Yay. Plate armor is a hell of a thing. Also 11.
And your initiative?
My initiative was a 12.
Thank you. And what about you, Manx?
That's a 9 for me on stealth, and then initiative is 14.
Thanks, Manx. Democles, you can hear Moonshadow squawk,
indicating that there are something at the next catapult. None of you are particularly stealthy in this mode, and the goblins are now alert that there is something going on. So as you approach the second catapult, you see 3 goblin engineers standing around it, looking around, not quite sure what to do. One of the unusual things that you notice about them immediately is they don't look like they're particularly well armed or armored.
Are they bunched together? That's what I want to know.
No, you've got one at the northwestern corner, one at the southwestern corner, and then one at the northeastern corner. And we're going to start at the top here with Manx. You are the quickest off the draw as you round tents, and the goblins can hear you coming. So you're the first one off the draw, Manx.
We're going loud, boys.
Okay, so I am going to cast Dissident Whispers on the goblin closest to me, which means I whisper in his ear a little poem. Cold water climbs a tightening vice. Air flees the chest, a stolen price. Light waves, distant, thin and small. The world dissolves in liquid pall. And he has to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. One of the goblin, is there any visual component to that spell, or does it just instantaneously take effect?
No, it's just a whisper that shows up in his ear.
The goblin at the far end shrieks, grabs his head, falls to his knees, and drops the small dagger that he was holding, and then falls prone and writhes on the ground.
Axel, it is now your move. You are no longer holding Democles, but you are holding a large sack of flour that Manx has given you.
Okay, so I am going to notice that Manx did his thing and injured the one and it fell prone. So I'm going to run up to the one that's closest to me and hit him with the Deck de Cabron. Ooh, that's a spicy one. So that's a 23.
All right, roll for damage.
Oh, this is going to be big damage.
Go damn. It's gonna cleave the guy.
Hell yeah! Fuck him up, Axel.
So 8 plus 3, 11 damage.
So as you get close, with an overhand swing, he turns as though he's going to prepare for you, and he puts his sword up to block you, and the weight of your swing caves right through the block, breaking his blade in half and caving the hammer right into his face, hammering him off of his feet into the dirt.
Is he dead?
Walk it off.
Axel, can you make an intimidate check?
I do not intimidate anybody. In fact, I probably pissed my own pants. I don't know. I rolled a 1.
So the goblin, who looks kind of shaken that this just happened, seems to regain his composure as you manage to, the force of your own swing surprises even you, and as your hammer hits the ground, the force of it knocks it out of your own hand.
Seeing your weapon fall, the last goblin charges towards you, but he does so without real conviction. And he rolls a 13 to attack, which I think does not hit.
No.
The goblin's swing is clumsy, but it grates across the plate mail on your side. But other than some scratches, there's no damage done to you or the plate. And now we move to Damocles.
Okay, I'll mind sliver the one that charged at Axel.
He got a 2 on his intelligence save.
Take this, mind sliver! Takes 6 psychic damage.
He is actually now also cowed in fear. It knocks him off of his feet, flat onto his back, and he now is, as a prone person, is trying to skitter away from Axel, thinking that it was actually Axel that did the attack. And Niktor, it is your move.
Which one's making the most noise?
None of them are making any noise. Technically, 2 of them are alive, but they are in no position to fight. They have basically surrendered.
Okay, obviously I just need to do some knockout attacks here. So I run up to whoever's closest and give him the old 1-2 good night.
All right, I'm going to actually give you a critical hit on this one, as the goblin that Manx cowed is on the ground prone holding his head, and he is not trying to defend himself from you at all, so you're able to perform a coup de grace.
Woohoo! Give him the old 1-2 good night. Oh, poof, poof. Good night, boys.
As you rush the goblin that's on the ground that Manx cowed first, you actually don't run up to him. You run about 5 feet away and then dive like you're in the WWE and elbow drop him out of existence. And then in one fluid motion, barrel roll up back to your feet and sprint to the next goblin.
Nice. Does that mean I still have movement available to hit the other guy too?
I'll allow it. Yeah, this one I'm going to have you slide home as though you're playing baseball with a leg kick and absolutely hammer the side of his body. And he actually flies far enough back towards the goblin camp that he completely knocks over one of the small tents.
Let's get these catapults completely what's the word for it? Disabled. Time is of the essence.
In that case, give me a siege check, Axel.
Okay, so rolled a 18.
Perfect. So you have primed the second catapult so that it is torsioned, it is ready to fire, and when it fires, you expect it to entirely break apart.
So these things are going to rip itself apart. Love it. Love it.
The goblin camp is now in utter pandemonium from the sally out, so you don't need to roll any more stealth checks. Niktor, I assume you're moving forward to take a look at the third catapult while Axel and Damocles work on disabling the current second one?
You got it. I presume it's the same scenario, tents between us.
As you sneak past this set of tents to see the last catapult, you can see a large bear warrior pacing around the front of it, so facing away from you. Can you make an additional perception check?
Ooh, I perceived so hard. 23 total.
This bear warrior is bigger than the bear warrior you remember at Varden Hollow. The previous one looked like it was about 7 feet. This one stands nearly as high as the catapult itself, so you guess it's probably around 8 feet high. It's incredibly muscular.
Is this one purple?
This one is also purple, although it is a much different hue. It's not as vibrant a purple, and it looks like there is some type of intentional coloration, so it looks like there's ash or something that he's rubbed into himself. He's also wearing different armor than you remember before. The prior looked like it was kind of hastily put together. This looks like it's custom fitted armor. You can actually see underneath the plates, it looks like there's chainmail as well. And he looks stronger and moves easier than the previous one you remember.
Oh, God damn it.
So the 3 goblins are actually on your side of the catapult, and then the bear warrior is pacing the opposite side of the catapult.
Is everybody just standing there, or are they actually in like a defensive perimeter?
They are clearly trying to protect this catapult.
While Axel and Democles are still messing with the catapult, I might as well go and join Nictor. So I'm going to creep up behind Nictor and tap him on the shoulder and point to the giant bear warrior guy and then whisper in his ear, "Hey, I think I have an idea on how to get around this. Do you trust me?"
I trust Max.
So I am going to wait on the edge of the tent, looking at the bear warrior until Axel and Democles have finished. And then I'm going to gesture them over. And just as they get close, I'm going to walk clearly visible directly towards the giant bear warrior.
I don't trust him very much, so I would like to follow him in anticipation, expecting something to get screwed up.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Democles. I want to walk right up to the bear warrior and pretend to be an officer of the Raven Shield army, because they've got banners and stuff around.
Yeah, there's lots of Raven Shield banners around.
Okay, so I am going to stare right at the bear warrior with all the confidence that my 140-pound frame can muster and say, "Why are you here? Why are you not helping in the fight? Are you some sort of coward?" And then I will have cast the suggestion spell to suggest that he goes and joins the fight at the gate.
He sees you with his command. He stomps over directly in front of you within, let's say, 5 feet, and sniffs and growls. Your suggestion immediately makes the goblins at the catapult run in the direction of the battle, heeding your words immediately.
Okay, at least it's working on them. So I want to not back down and glare at him and order him again to get back to the battle at Seafall and not to be a coward.
I think I like that idea. I will, like a soldier being commanded by its superior, I'm going to walk directly beside Manx towards the bear and just stand at attention and look authoritative.
He leans all the way down because he is significantly larger than you and sniffs right next to you.
As he does this, you can see his big meaty paw tighten around what looks like a club studded with black obsidian. Then he stands to his full height in front of you and looks down.
"I don't think so. You smell of the sea and fear."
And in one swift movement, he slams the great club into you with such force. It actually hurls you back 15 feet into a tent. You take 16 points of damage.
Oh, shit.
And it completely blasts apart one of the tents behind you. And now I'm going to open that up for Democles.
Shit. I know I shouldn't trust Manx. I'm going to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on him, and I would like to use one of my portents and make it a 2. Whatever it is that he's rolling, it'll be a 2. So he's going to fail.
Yes, correct.
So he will break out into hideous laughter for the extent of this, and it means that he becomes specifically incapacitated and unable to stand up. So this towering bear should fall down and start cackling and take that. They don't call it Tasha's Hideous Laughter for anything. You're just hideous enough to laugh at. Now, nobody hit him. We have to burn this thing to the ground, quickly.
I can kind of hear all of this from where the bear hammered me into the tent, but I am so dazed that I still don't really know what's going on, and I think I might have shit myself.
Quick, throw the flour on there, and I'll get my burning hands ready.
I'm stringing up my flower.
I will burning hands this horrible device. Efflumerate!
I'm going to have the plan with the flower work perfectly, so everybody make a reflex save. Democles, let's start with you.
So I got 18.
And Axel?
I rolled a 5.
And Minx?
13 for me.
And lastly, Nictor.
I rolled a 17.
The Burning Hands explosion with the flower works so well it surprises all of you in such a gigantic inferno. Manx, you shield yourself. Nictor, you shield yourself. Democles shields himself. Axel, you take 3 points of damage as cinders and sparks drop from a catapult that is functionally blasted into tiny smithereens. So you get some embers that land on you.
At that moment, you hear the echo of the battle horn across the fields, signaling the retreat back to Seafall.
Quick, now, we must go destroy the other catapults. I'll get one with my mage hand, you get the other.
You're gonna have to run to the catapults because they're about 15 feet away and they're blocked by tents.
Yeah, I'm gonna run. You're faster than me. I'm a gnome. Please get the furthest one.
I'm on a Democles. Man, that hurt. And I'm going to pick myself up from the tent debris and try and hobble away towards the furthest catapult.
Axel, Nictor, are you following Democles and Manx?
Yeah, I would be following. I'm the slowest, but I will be following.
I'm going to be running with the boys.
All right. Democles, I'm going to have you go first.
I pull the lever.
And the catapult goes to as though it was going to fire something, and instead none of the gears click. It goes to fire, and the firing arm swings forward, snaps right through the cross bracers, and tips the entire thing up into the air, and then splits in half, and then it crumbles in on it of itself.
Yeah.
All right, and Manx, you're going to get to the third one?
Barely, but I got here. I'm going to pull the lever.
And something pretty similar happens. It springs to life, snaps right through the crossbar. This one actually twists a little weird and snaps 2 of the support posts as well, and then becomes entirely entangled in the remaining cables and wires that held it all together, just in a giant pile.
Nice. Eat that, stupid catapult.
Okay, Nictor, Democles, and Axel, make perception checks.
10.
Nictor?
Nat 20, total 25. I perceived everything. Democles, I see a spider.
And Axel.
Mine's a 4 also.
Nictor, who is pulling up the rear, you can hear a lot of noise coming behind you, and as you turn around, you can see that the goblins are turning from the combat that they had with the Sally out, and you can see that there are 10 goblins now showing up hot on your tail, along with 2 additional bear warriors.
Come, we must move quickly. Fast, into the cornfields.
All right, I'm rushing away from the returning goblins, like around the edge, back towards the soldiers that sallied out back through the gates.
Wow, that was a tight window. Yeah, let's GTFO, team.
You dash out through the cornfields, and then turn a little south and head towards the gates of Seafall, just as intended, joining in with the ranks of soldiers, filing back into Seafall in an orderly fashion. Once everybody is inside, the doors closed and the deadbolt dropped. Henry soon finds you, Democles.
Democles, are the catapults destroyed? Was the mission a success?
Completely. The mission was a roaring success, one that was quite invigorating. You won't have any trouble before the winter.
I knew I could count on you, Democles. Well done.
Henry then turns to the rest of the soldiers milling about the gate.
Soldiers of Seafall, we've done it. The siege engines have been destroyed. Our homes are safe. These goblins will surely have to return to their hovels for winter. Tomorrow, we will celebrate with all the rum in the city and not eat onions. Those of you who bear wounds from battle, make your way to the Church of Seafall. My half-sister will take care of you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of You Rolled a 1. If you'd like to learn more about the world of Belcar or chat with our players, you can find more on Instagram, Facebook,
YouTube, or join our Discord and talk directly to us there. Thanks again, and remember, stepping in a mystery puddle right after you put on fresh socks is a real-life rolling a 1.